Mando and the Silent Mandalorian. The first sign is not a transmission or a threat, but absence. A bounty Mando had been tracking for 3 systems simply vanishes hours before he arrives, as if someone stepped into the story and erased the ending. At the abandoned refinery where the target was last seen, the doors are sealed from the inside and the security grid disabled with surgical precision. No bodies, no scorch marks, no signs of struggle. Grogu senses a fading echo in the Force-focused, disciplined, familiar map. Inside the central chamber, Mando finds a single object placed deliberately on a crate, a small strip of Beskar etched with no clan marking, no sigil, only a single vertical line, a message without words. Back aboard the ship, Mando runs the local guild channels. The bounty was claimed anonymously. No helmet cam footage uploaded, no payment trail visible. Someone doesn't want recognition, they want silence. Grogu tilts his head, feeling something unsettling. The presence he sensed wasn't hostile in the usual way. It was controlled, like a blade still in its sheath. The next encounter is less subtle. A transport convoy under pirate attack broadcasts a distress signal. Mando answers, arriving to find 3 raider ships disabled and drifting. The pirates themselves are gone. On the hull of the lead transport, carved cleanly into Duristiel, is the same single vertical line. Mando scans for residual signatures and detects a faint heat trace fading into the asteroid field. He gives chase. The trail leads through tight rock corridors where only a skilled pilot would risk maneuvering. Mando navigates carefully, but when he reaches the far side, the signal disappears completely, not destroyed. Anticipated, Grogu senses the Watcher before Mando sees him. A distant silhouette stands on a ridge of fractured stone on a small planetoid ahead, armor reflecting starlight. Another man. The figure does not wave or signal. He simply turns and walks toward a waiting ship. Mando lands. The wind across the planetoid carries fine dust over 2 armored figures standing 10 meters apart. No words are exchanged. The Silent Mandalorian studies him through a black visor that reveals nothing. His armor is darker, older in design, but impeccably maintained. No clan colors, no trophies, only the vertical line engraved faintly into his chest plate. Mando steps forward slightly. "You've been following me." No response. The silent warrior tilts his helmet just a fraction, as if acknowledging the statement rather than answering it. Grogu feels something complex beneath the stillness, not hatred, not rivalry exactly, but assessment, measurement. In a blur of motion, the Silent Mandalorian fires a grappling line not at Mando but at the ground near his feet, yanking him off balance and testing reflexes without lethal intent. Mando recovers instantly, jetpack flaring, blaster drawn. The silent warrior counters with precise shots that strike armor plates at angles designed to destabilize rather than penetrate. This is not an ambush, it is evaluation. Grogu remains in the ship watching through the viewport, feeling the tension between the 2 warriors. Neither seeks to kill. Both seek to understand. The Silent Mandalorian switches weapons seamlessly, blade to blaster to wrist-mounted launch, forcing Mando to adapt continuously. Every move Mando makes is anticipated a heartbeat early. When Mando deploys whistling birds, the silent warrior rolls behind cover that was selected before the missiles were even armed. A stun bolt grazes Mando's thigh plate, calculated to impair mobility without ending the fight. Mando fires a precise countershot, striking the other's shoulder joint. Sparks flare, but the armor absorbs the impact. They circle each other in widening arcs, boots grinding against stone. Grogu feels it clearly now. This Mandalorian has studied Mando, his tactics, preferences, patterns, just like the hunter who never missed. But this one feels closer, more personal. The fight escalates. Jetpacks ignite simultaneously, both warriors lifting into the air in mirrored arcs before colliding mid-flight and crashing back to the surface. Gauntlets lock. For a moment, they are inches apart. The silent Mandalorian's visor reflects Mando's helmet perfectly, as if showing him himself. Then the silent warrior disengages abruptly and steps back. He reaches to his belt and drops something onto the ground between them, another Beskar strip with a single vertical line. Then he turns and walks away. Mando does not fire. Back aboard the ship, Grogu senses unease in Mando that he rarely feels. This was not a bounty dispute, not territorial, it was a message. Over the next weeks, patterns emerge. Bounties Mando considers accepting are completed moments before he commits. Threats he prepares to face are neutralized ahead of time. The silent Mandalorian is always one step ahead, not interfering directly, just redirecting. On a desert world, Mando arrives at a cantina where a contact was scheduled to meet him. The contact lies unconscious but alive, bound with clean restraints. On the wall behind him, the vertical line, Grogu feels the presence again close. Mando exits the cantina cautiously, scanning rooftops. A flicker of movement vanishes at the edge of his visor. He ignites his jetpack and rises above the buildings. Across the street, standing on a high balcony, the silent Mandalorian waits. This time, instead of attacking, he activates a holographic projector. A star map appears between them. Highlighted routes, flashpoints, ambush sites. Each location corresponds to jobs Mando had recently considered taking. The silent warrior deactivates the map and gestures subtly toward Grogu's prom, visible through the cockpit canopy. Protection. Grogu feels it clearly now. The silent Mandalorian is not hunting Mando. He is testing whether Mando is worthy of what Grogu cannot yet tell. Suddenly, blaster fire erupts from below. A third-party mercenaries tracking both armored figures open fire from concealed positions. The silent Mandalorian reacts instantly, tackling Mando off the balcony before a heavy cannon blast obliterates the platform. They land hard in an alley. Without a word, the two Mandalorians move in synchronized efficiency, covering blind spots, alternating suppressive fire, advancing in coordinated bursts. They have never trained together, yet their movements align instinctively. Grogu focuses, subtly deflecting a shot that would have struck Mando's exposed flank. The silent warrior notices, a nod barely perceptible. The mercenaries retreat under the combined assault. Silence returns. Smoke drifts between the buildings. The silent Mandalorian stands across from Mando once more. Slowly he reaches up to his helmet. For a fraction of a second, it seems he might remove it. Instead, he taps the vertical line engraved into his chest. Then he taps Mando's armor. Then he points toward the horizon. A warning. More are coming. A larger hunt. Before Mando can respond, the silent warrior launches skyward, disappearing into the city's upper traffic lanes. Back aboard the ship, Grogu feels the lingering imprint of the other Mandalorian's presence. Not rival, not enemy watcher. Mando studies the Beskar strip now lining the console beside the others. Each vertical line identical. A count, a tally. Grogu senses realization forming in Mando's mind. The silent Mandalorian has been tracking threats before they reach them, intercepting, testing, measuring Mando's response each time. Not to surpass him, but to prepare him. Outside, in the vastness of space, another ship drifts unseen at extreme sensor range. Inside, the silent Mandalorian watches their departure coordinates without speaking. He is always one step ahead. Not because he seeks glory, but because something far greater than reputation is approaching and he is making sure Mando will survive it.